It's up and stuck. Homeroom was smooth. Brings it down to Miami. Let's get it. So it's just Selena the motherfucking beauty.
All right, so it is episode number 142,
Damn.
Selfish Deadbeats. I might change the name, so this might all be false. I don't know. But anyway, how y'all doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Little hungry.
Okay, feel it, feel it.
Shit, I can't complain, man. I just got back from the gym. I'm actually about to eat. He over here talking about a little hungry.
Oh, snaps. Okay. First of all, like one thing I want to lead off with is, you know what I'm saying, definitely like thoughts and prayers for the people in what is that?
Highland Park, Chicago.
Highland Park. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Highland Park, you know what I'm saying? Because that's atrocious. That's
Right.
atrocious. Like people can't even go to a parade no more. Like that's crazy. And then also the family of man, I got too many topics floating around in my head. What's his name? Come on. His name Jayland Walker. His
Oh, yeah.
family. Yeah, man, cause that's
Man,
rough.
that video was bad. Did you guys see the actual video of it?
No, thank God.
I'm still holding out on like I'm still holding out.
Man, it's bad. Like, there's literally zero reason. And it's, we'll get into that after we get into the conversation.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly,
Can't
you
even
can
DoorDash anymore.
Man, look.
nah. I mean, for real though, like, nah, we can get into it. Like, so what was the video like? Because I still ain't watched it. I
Like,
thought I was gonna watch it before this, and then I went, nah.
all you hear is like, and it's crazy. Like, people put up a comparison between the guy who did the shooting at the parade and the, what's his name, Jalen?
Yeah,
Jayland
Jalen.
Walker. Yeah.
Yep.
And like both of them had traffic stops. So the guy who did the shooting, like he got apprehended, fine, everything, guns and everything still in the vehicle, whatever. And you look at Jalen when he got out, same exact situation, trying to run. And I don't mean like beforehand, you got one guy who murdered people and one guy who it was just traffic stop, right? And literally all you hear is gunshots ringing out from like what, 8, 9 different cops, just like ringing
Jeez.
out, and it's just do 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 do, and like nonstop. And mind you, you have one of the officers saying ceasefire, ceasefire, and people still firing, right? And mind you, they say he got hit 60 times.
Yeah. They shot over 90
So
bullets.
yeah,
Fuck.
over 90 rounds were fired, and he got hit 60 times. Like that, like at no point, I don't even care if somebody committed a crime and was running away. There's no reason for you to fire 90 rounds at someone who is running away. Makes
I
no sense.
Yeah, I will just say this because they shot 90 rounds at him, right? And they think that's okay, even though for just capital punishment, death penalty, we can't use firing squad
And then and you and
because it's
it makes
inhumane.
you think about the Brianna incident with the one endangerment for her boyfriend shooting.
Yeah,
You guys
Yeah.
just fired 90 rounds around uh, a populated area. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. But held to a different standard, right?
yeah.
Right. Like that the stuff that they're able to get away with is just unheard of. Like in no profession can you get away with this. This level of debauchery. There's no profession.
Not even the military, bro. Like soldiers down range actually fighting for the country will
Bro,
get.
you muted yourself, Dr. DL. You muted yourself. Yeah, you're muted.
So I unmuted myself on my roadcaster, but forgot to do that. So a couple of things I wanted to say was the fact that so I'm gonna begin with what y'all were last talking about. Most states have a self-defense against the police. Most states have a self-defense, and so
It's
what
actually a
you
constitutional right.
well they've legislated it, right? They've legislated you can do self-defense against the police, and so at what point does the officer move from doing their duties to being a criminal, right? And so if you look at intent, right? And so intent in most states to try to especially get people hit with because intent is a huge thing to go for higher charges. And so in most states, they say that you can create intent in an instant, right? As soon as you have a thought, you can have intent, which then makes it a little bit more penalty wise, more serious, right? And so the officer that was yelling cease fire, if he was actually doing his job, he should have been shooting at the other police. And when we look at two other things, and so when, the Democrats just passed this gun law stuff, right? I am 110% against gun laws. I believe in gun control. I think gun laws are stupid as hell because I've been carrying a handgun permit since I was 21. That's what I did for my 21st birthday. I don't drink. I think strippers are stupid. I think that's false advertising, right? Why would I go to a strip club to have sex, right? That's just think that. So I don't drink. Huh?
No, just laughing.
And so for my 21st birthday, I bought me a pistol and I got me a handgun permit. And so I've been carrying ever since. My top charge. Anytime that I carry my pistol in places that say I'm not supposed to, that's gonna be my top charge of me having that pistol. Whereas the top charge of the cat that gonna go into a parade or go into a movie theater or go into a church, their top charge is gonna be murder, right? So gun laws don't work because people who are law abiding are not gonna be committing crimes. The reason why I'm carrying a damn gun in the first place is because criminals don't give a damn about laws. So that looks right. Their top charge is trying to commit murder. Their top charge is trying to rob somebody.
Yep.
My top charge gonna be having the goddamn gun to stop them from doing something to me. But when we have these debates about guns and gun control, the gun laws instead of gun control, we never bring in the police. Anytime that I brought up the day that I have no problem with gun control. But let's control the police as well. Let's hold them to a higher standard. I think most of y'all are in the military. And you cannot go around shooting in Afghanistan and be like, my bad, I was scared.
And that's actually one of the things I was talking about. Like the military gets punished far more, just more harshly than cops, right? And and this is the weird thing about it, right? We're in the United States. We know that the individuals in this country are the civilians, right? Police officers are trained, right? Well, supposed to be trained.
Supposed to be.
Allegedly.
On
not.
Escalation, prevention, de-escalation, and things of that nature. And the military, before we go down range, we go through some of the similar training. Ours probably way more in depth, right? But we can literally get up to life in prison, right? For, mistakenly killing someone downrange, a civilian, a child, or something of that nature. But you have, police officers in the United States who have, what's the immunity thing?
Yeah.
And like, one, that needs to be completely done away with. And I don't think when, a police officer is actually convicted or something of that nature, it should actually come from taxpayer funds. And I think that'll be something that actually will make cops think before they do something of this nature, because once you start messing with someone's money, the entire game changes. When you know that you're going to lose your 401k, when you know you're going to lose your retirement, when you know that you're actually going to lose thousands and thousands of dollars instead of the city actually paying for these things, it might. Now, granted, you have people who are there who's still going to do shit because some people are biased. Some people don't know any better, and some people are just afraid. Some people don't need to be cops, right? Because if you're that afraid walking into the job that that you know is going to could potentially be dangerous, you probably shouldn't be on the front line.
Well, it should be an and, right? It should be an and. So it should be the police officer should go bankrupt, lose their house, lose their 401, but because the city or the government hired them to do the job and they didn't screen well or train well or whatever the reason, because one of my friends was in the military where you train, right? They train the fear out of you. And so if you're going to have the responsibility of carrying that gun, then you can't yell that you were scared, right? And so we got to create a space for them to be able to get away, because that was it actually was a Memphis Supreme Court case. And so in Memphis, cops shot somebody in the back because back in the day, they used to be able to shoot you just for running away. The Supreme Court struck down the fact that you can shoot somebody just because they're running away. Then in the 1980s, that was the 1970s, in the 1980s, once again in Memphis, there was another shooting. And they gave them the language to say, I was afraid for my life, right? Because that's how the decision came out. They had to use that language. And you cannot be afraid and do the work. And so going back to gun legislation, the police is to then say, only the specially trained SWAT get to have pistols. Because when all these police officers say that I've never had to use my gun for blah, 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 then you need to have a gun unit and then have the scary cats in the non-gun unit. But if you're going to be in the gun unit, you need to be able to handle whatever it is. And so there's this guy on TikTok, and I don't know why the hell he came on my For You page, but he came on my For You page. He's a police officer, and he talked about somebody, a black person, a young black person walking around holding a gun out in public. And then he was like, and then when the police rightfully shoot him, y'all gonna want to be able to do blah blah blah. And I commented, and he's never commented, and no one else said. I said, first of all, you're the one that goddamn work, as Ebony King said, right? Like, you're the cat at work, so you're the ones that need to be doing customer service. I can be an irate customer, right? I get to be irate, right? I don't need to calm down. I don't need to do any of those things. You goddamn at work, you need to control yourself. But more importantly, why is it when a black person holds a gun, you automatically assume criminality? You got states that are open carry states. So if it's an open carry state and I'm carrying a pistol, you telling me it's open? I ain't never understood anybody carrying a pistol openly, right? I got to.
I think that's the dumbest thing in the world. But
it's hell. Like you ain't never gonna see it. I ain't trying to play hero either. Right. And so if you trying to rob that cat over there, I don't give a damn. But if you trying to come for me, I don't want you to think I'm a security guard or a police. I ain't trying to say no goddamn body.
I mean, you're gonna be the first target if someone decides to shoot you up.
Right. Like, and so I ain't never understood open carry because it don't deter me. It just made me know I got to shoot you first. But it could be an open carry state, and yet and still you sentence this person to a death sentence. And I'm like, because there's a language to say he was brandishing a gun. Right. And so this police officer didn't use the word that he was brandishing. He said that he was carrying. Right. He was openly carrying, which is not against the damn law. Right. But you automatically said, and he was getting all these likes and stuff that said that killing the black boy and for black, if y'all care about Black Lives Matter, you basically saying don't carry a gun. That will keep you alive. And it won't. Negative. Right. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And so if I ever get in a situation with anybody, I don't care what the hell their title is, it's going to be who get the win, right? I have a responsibility and a duty to come home to my son, period. Yeah. And so my son can visit me. If I am convicted, my son can visit me in jail, but he can visit me at the grave, but I can't talk back to him. So I'm going to do everything I can to go home, just like that police officer always saying they're trying to do what they can to go home. But if you can't handle your job and you're putting your life on the line and it takes you 5 seconds to figure out, then take them goddamn 5 seconds. If you die at the end of that, that's what the hell you never hear firemen saying, and then I stop. You never hear a fireman saying, I can't run into the building and fire and I'm scared. Mm-hmm. You're doing your goddamn job. You signed up to put out fires. You signed up to go into burning buildings. That's what you signed up for. And so if you didn't want to sign up to deal with criminals, goddamn it, don't be a police officer.
Yeah.
I stop.
Frankie.
Yeah. No.
Frankie.
No. You guys said it.
Wait, who just played this? What? No, but seriously, with that, I think I really do think and agree with you guys. Like the only way around this is to finally get rid of qualified immunity, because you don't hear that from doctors. Like if a doctor does that, you can sue them for malpractice. You know what I'm saying? Just for an accident, they could accidentally. Oh, I accidentally ruptured your artery and you died. You know what? You don't even have to die. They can just cause you damage, and you can sue them for malpractice. Just the doctor, not the hospital, just the doctor. And then if you want to go a step further, you can then sue the hospital too. But with the police officers, we don't have that. It's literally the taxpayer. We're gonna front this. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be responsible for this every single time. And I think that doesn't create a good relationship. That's literally just the community paying its abuser. You're literally it's you might as well be an abused spouse, and then you go home and you make dinner. You know what I'm saying? That don't make sense. Like he just beat your ass. Like leave, call the police. Well, in this scenario, I don't even know if you want to, but
Not if y'all black and you want everybody to come back home.
yeah, it's not worth it. Um, and I found myself in a weird position because recently, like on my channel, I did a reaction video to a particular crime, and in this particular case, like
Hey,
what
which crime are you
happened,
talking about?
huh?
Which one are you talking about? I seen you react to a few videos.
This one is the boy was beating on his mom or doing something to his mother, where she was so frightened she called the police on him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you
And the
know
police
at
killed
what
him.
do you know how conflicted that black mother was inside, to where she knew what the end result could be, and she
But
still did it anyway.
there's one thing I do want to say to that though, right?
Yeah,
And it's something that we as the black community need to get better at, right? And I think it's mainly the new generation coming up. Like we do not raise our kids to be kids, and we we don't create an environment for them to, you know, not we as a whole, but some people, like we don't create that environment for our kids to grow up with that certain level of respect that we grew up with, right? Like
yeah,
you're not gonna disrespect your grandmother. You know you're not gonna say certain things to your grandmother because back in the day you get the shit beat out of you, right? Yeah,
hmm,
like you dare not raise a hand at your grandmother. The whole family gonna beat your ass, right?
hmm.
And
That kind of stuff
kids,
didn't come across your mind.
yeah, like
Man,
you
not
wouldn't
at
even think of
all.
that, right? But nowadays, parents want to be their kids' best friend. They want to be their kids' uh, I don't even want to say confidant. They just they want to be everything but a parent, right? And
Yeah,
you have to be, and that's why I think two parent household is so important, right? You have the nurture side, then you have the discipline side. You need both of those to become a well-rounded adult, even if you're not, crazy prosperous, but you need both of those to become a well-rounded adult. And a lot of times we don't have that, especially in the black community, which is sad. And we produce individuals who will raise their hand at their mother, but I think that's something we need to work on so we don't get in that position where, we're having to call the cops on our own siblings and things of that nature. Now, when that cop gets there, right? And that's why in this whole de-escalation training, you know, that's one of the things they use every time something like this happens, right? De-escalation training.
yeah,
At some point, you're gonna have to realize doing 30 de-escalation trainings and the same thing's happening again. That's not the solution. You need to attack it in a different way, right? And for a police officer to get a distress call about someone who's acting in a manner that may show that they're in a different type of mindset, I like the fact that they're starting to employ therapists and things of that nature to come out instead of police directly going out with the guns drawn and everything like that. So, but I think the onus is on everybody in that situation like that. With the one you're talking about, I think I actually seen you react to that video.
yeah,
But it becomes something that's sad that is hella preventable
Yeah.
from the beginning to end. But
I don't even think it's a black community thing. I think it's just a generational thing because we see it, and maybe in other communities it's not violence, but the disrespect is there. I mean, I see it with
Mhm.
students because my mom's a teacher, so I see students of all races, and they talk to their mother certain ways, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
yeah.
And
And I say black community because I think that's been going on with other communities for way long. Like
oh
you,
yeah,
you'll never talk to your mom like white kids talk to their mom. Like
oh
that's
yeah,
not
no,
gonna happen.
but I think that's part of the thing because we're transforming to do that. And I think. And I
Mhm.
think that's why it's just a community at large thing, not even a black community. It's a whole generational thing that because I know even with Sebastian too, like he'll say certain things to his mom like that, and they'll be going to bed, and I hop in and I'm like, no, and I'm like, what did you say? But I know like with him because like you said, we have the parents that don't want to be the disciplinarian, or they want to go, oh, give my child a choice and everything, trying to foster certain things, and there's certain times for that, there's certain times not for it. Like you can't be all or none. And it's like, and I think it's just hilarious because even like Sebastian's dad gets mad at me he gets mad at me because I'm closer to Sebastian than he is. And he's like, and I'm like, and Sebastian doesn't talk to me that way. And I'm like, no, because I started in the beginning relationship. Like you can't talk to me that way. You can't talk to my mom that way. And it's hilarious because I think it's hilarious because how he treats his grandpa and his grandma and grandpa are way different than how he treats my parents. Because that respect was there from the beginning. It's like, yeah, it's like you're not talking to me this way, you're not talking to them that way too, and you're not talking to your mom that way.
Yeah.
And like and it's kind of, and it's funny because I even told him like, okay, if you're not afraid of anything, like, and he knows it because he's afraid of me because he's like, because I won't, I'm not putting up with that too. So
Mhm.
because if he asks anything, because like when he gets in trouble, he does something, he'd rather go to the police station than come to me. Because no, because he knows it, because he's like, oh, because he's like, I jacked up,
Wait, stop. God.
No, but it's the fact that he knows that he messed up, and we go over this, and I'm gonna hold him accountable.
Yeah, I mean,
Too.
and I think that accountability is hella important, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
And that's good that you do that. But
I do agree with Ebony King that there has been a change in the black community because since the so-called civil rights movement has ended, more and more black people have bought into the idea that we have overcome, that we are quote unquote Americans and all this other kind of stuff, right? And so the more we buy into individualism, the more we buy into the US ways of culture and thinking, those cultural phenomena that we grew up with are going to continue to disappear. And that's really important on how we see ourselves, and if we see ourselves as a community or we see ourselves as individuals. And so but that's a different conversation. But I also disagree with Ebony King in that I don't think it takes two parents. I think it takes two grown-ups to raise a child, right? And even a community, because having, and I guess this goes to the topic that we're about to get into, that I'm gonna be a little bit more controversial. Having a penis in a household, I'd rather have a penisless household than a worthless dad.
Well, but I think he said two parents. I think you're specifying that too, because he didn't say a mom and a dad. He just said two parents, and you did it two adults as well too. So I
so
think you're kind
and
of assuming
So
because
how, so
he just said you need one person to be kind of be the confidant and another person to be the disciplinarian. He didn't assign a gender to him at all.
yeah,
and
but
I'll clarify, right? And when I say two parents, I do mean a man and a woman, right? Um, I'm of a traditional mindset, like that's well known. I don't, and I think it's incumbent upon, and granted, like we have some ain't shit people in our community, right? Everyone has ain't shit people in their community. We have to get to the point where we decide to make a decision to not fuck with ain't shit people and not reproduce with ain't shit people, because at some point you have to take accountability for reproducing with ain't shit people, right? And I say this because statistics show that childs with mother and father in the household has a higher success rate than childs without that mother and father dynamic, right?
I challenge that. I challenge you to find those statistics. And then because the statistics that just came out about Black fatherhood, right?
Mhm.
Particularly because Black fatherhood has been, at least in media portrayals of being absent in the household, that they just came out with a study that showed, and it's from the CDC, that showed that Black fathers actually interact with their children more than any other ethnic group in the United States.
And
Right. Whether in the
that's
household or
been
not.
well known.
Well,
That's
it's
been well known.
not well known. It might be because
In the Black community, that's been well known, right? It's the media pushes that, right? But in the Black community, we know fathers, and so there's a difference between saying fathers being there for their kids and families having a intact household. That's what I'm talking about, right? I know that Black fathers have always been there for their kids, whether the relationship with their mom has worked or not. We know everybody, any kid who has been, I ain't gonna say any, majority of kids who have been separated from their kids usually provide, right? In the Black community, whether it's willingly or unwillingly. A lot of men still want to see their kids. You have those outliers, but like in my family, in my community, we already knew that. We didn't need the CDC to tell us that, right? We already knew those stats. And we didn't really care if the media pushed Black men ain't shit, or certain people hopped on that train of Black men ain't shit. We didn't care about them saying that because we knew what we really were. We knew what we really were doing. And even the statistic that I gave you about the Black family being intact, about the success of children coming out of those households comes from the CDC, right? I'm not arguing that it takes a man and a woman to raise a child. That's not what I'm arguing. Any individuals can raise kids, right? That's not an argument. I'm saying two people who lay down to conceive a child should do their best to not fuck that up, basically, right? Not trying to get any type of philosophical or anything like that. They should do their best to maintain so that they can create kids who can contribute to society.
But human beings are damaged, and so not all people. One, sex is the freest form of entertainment, and so
100%.
you're trying to tell people not to have sex.
No.
No. It's not. I would not say this is about not having sex. I would say this is about being responsible with who you sleep with. That's just literally it. If I go tomorrow, if I go out and I sleep with, I don't know, some girl from down the street, and then now I'm stuck on child support or whatever. Hey, that's on me. You know what I'm saying? I did that. You know what I'm saying? If she raises my kids in some like poor like shack, that's on me. I went out of my way and didn't even qualify this woman to bear my children. And now I'm upset because my children are living this lifestyle that I didn't want them to live. Well, why did I sleep with her? I have to take that on me. And that's the same concept we're saying here. Like, just be responsible about it. At least read into these people. At least have a conversation with them. I believe a lot of people aren't even talking to each other. They're literally just there. They're having small talk. They drink their drinks. You know what I'm saying? They smash and then they move on. And then it's rinse and repeat every day. Sometimes they don't even do anything. They just come in the house, get naked, do their thing, and then they move on. And then they get kids, and then they're like, oh, wait, like, who are you? They don't even know who these people are. They just got kids with people that they just been having sex with. And it's like, oh, everything was all fun and games, but now the sex is gone, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, she's not in the mood right now. She's this, whatever, pregnant. And now you're like, oh, man, I actually have to sit and talk to this woman? You know what I'm saying? I actually have to sit and talk to this man? Man,
and then you realize that y'all ain't got shit in common.
At all. And you see it happen over and over again. That's why a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, when the relationship you cut when the sex stops, when all the fun and games stop and it's time to be responsible, the whole relationship just dies. Because they're not even compatible as people. There's no more distractions. You know what I'm saying? Once you remove the distractions, they're not.
So
they're not
real talk. Everybody that you never had sex with was somebody you wanted to be the mother of your child.
Oh, negative.
No. I'm not saying that.
Oh,
I'm not saying every single last woman needs to be the one that you are. I'm saying you have to be cognizant of, if I sleep with this woman, I'm accepting the risk of this being bad.
I will cut in and I will say every person that I've slept with, I made sure that because of the consequences that I'm okay raising a child with. I can honestly say that. But that's me, and I know I'm different.
But that's what we should strive for, right? Like,
yeah, no, and that's what I instill with Sebastian, and that and you know, so because now because he's 12, he's going with the girls like that too. So so he's getting to that age, and it's consequences like that too. And it's like this is what you have to do. So I could say maybe every person I've slept with, I'm not like I haven't been like, oh, I want to marry that person, we're gonna spend life together. But every person I've slept with, I am comfortable of raising a child with them, and because I get to know them and I know what their ideals are and how how they want to parent too, because I know sometimes like when that's just the most killer thing when parents are separated because the parenting styles are so different, the child's ping ponging back and forth, and that causes issues. And
you know what's so crazy?
Yeah,
we were just having this conversation at work, and one of the guys I work with, he has custody of one of his kids. Well, he has his kid with his current wife, and he has a child with his ex-wife. And he was talking to us about today about how when his son comes home from with his ex-wife, like he just leaves stuff around the house. He doesn't clean up after himself and stuff like that. So that split in different type of parenting between the parents, like, does affect those kids. Like,
yeah. No, because I get that, and then and that's the one of the things too, where and I think it's up to both parents too, because I know like with Sebastian, it's like his dad has him every other weekend just for the weekend. So we literally have him 12 days. So that was the thing that I got mad because his dad didn't go and explain that to him. That hey, when you're with me with these 2 days, you get away with a lot more because it's fun time because I only have you for this days. But it was the same thing. It was because him not showering, him leaving stuff around, like oh, who does this? Oh, like my dad does everything, and so that and that's the and I get it because I know on there's other weekends when when Sebastian and I go out for the weekend and we hightail it to a different state, because it's him and I, we go to a hotel, it's a lot of room service, so there's a lot less responsibility. So I'm guessing that's how it is with his dad, because it's like, oh, his dad doesn't get to see him. So he's like, oh, we're doing this, and this too. But it's also up for, like I said, his dad saying, hey, this is why things are like this for during this, because when we have you during the week. But then and like you said too. But then also when they try to do more time, that's when we saw, we saw it affecting him. Basically, it's what you're saying, because he was understanding that he could get away with this over with his dad and not with me. And that's why I had to go and explain it to him and say, hey, because your dad's only sees you for 48 hours. And so he's not really up to the minute stuff, because you're there to have fun, and then it's over, and then you come back over here. Okay. And I think a lot of parents, they don't even, for split households, they don't even explain that to their kids.
Right. So real quick, number one thing I want to say, shout out to Tequila with Friends. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guys at Tequila with Friends. Y'all can check them out at tequilawithfriends.com. Anyway, also Clean Water AG. I did want to talk about that because that brother is doing amazing things for the community. You know what I'm saying? He's bringing clean, free water to communities like Flint. I think his machines produce 900 gallons of water, fresh water, clean water a day for free. Like, it's beautiful stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you end up going to his page or his website, you know what I'm saying, definitely try and donate and help that brother. You know what I'm saying? Definitely continue to help our communities. He has one in Flint. I believe there's one in like some part of Chicago, somewhere in Ohio. and something else. Like he's mainly in like the Northeast right now, in Midwest.
Then I think when he was in Flint, somebody attacked his machinery. Yeah.
And they did it in a way that a normal person didn't. Yeah, a normal person didn't do that, right?
Yeah.
And it's sad that you have people actually out trying to sabotage like this type of work, right?
Capitalism at its finest.
Yeah, like they literally put certain things in certain part of the machine so it couldn't run, and they had to replace like entire components on these machines. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
like you have those though.
They're predicting, before the foolishness that's going on right now, they were predicting water was going to be one of the reasons that was going to cause World War III. You got whole companies buying rivers in so-called third world nations for this particular reason, because water, we think, because we're surrounded by it, it's all over the planet, right? That there's enough drinkable water on this planet, and it's not, especially at the way that we're reproducing, right? And not taking care of the planet, right? By pollution and all this other kind of stuff. And so this kind of machine could be transformative, especially like, because the way the machine works is higher the humidity, the more water it can pool. And so all you can think about is the Deep South, where they drink Mississippi water, right? I'm from Memphis, and so we don't drink Mississippi water, but a lot of people drink Mississippi goddamn water, and the Mississippi ain't look blue and goddamn no, I don't know when.
Yeah. You ain't lying.
Blue, Mississippi, right? But the Mississippi, like if like living in New Orleans, like when people be like, y'all like when they come to Memphis, y'all water don't taste like anything. Water ain't supposed to taste like nothing, man. Like
right,
it's supposed to have a taste.
Hey, look. That Memphis just came out of when you said Maine.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm like, yeah. And so it's amazing what this black man has created, especially like he talked about, like, you know, anytime after a hurricane, like these basic things like water, you're gonna die of water, right? These basic things. You can just fly in, they can fly in these machines and just give people water, and you're gonna destroy that. You don't want, like, you're not getting national or international coverage.
Because you know who he's threatening with that?
Water companies.
Nestle, Dasani, Aquafina.
The city of whatever you live at, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, it's
the municipality.
He's attacking the money, and unfortunately, that's what happens because, like I said, it's capitalism at its finest.
We got a drought out west. We got a drought out west right now where they talking about water conservation. When I was living in Atlanta and Alabama almost went to goddamn war over some lake that I think is actually in Alabama, but it feeds into Atlanta or into Georgia, and they wanted to do something because Alabama was going through a drought. And
they did.
Yeah, and so it was almost like they damn near went to, like, we almost had two states going to war over some damn water, right?
Yeah, because they cut down the output from the dam from like 80% to like 40%, and that like they was like, "Yo, what are you doing? Like this runs to the rest of the state. We need y'all to chill out."
So yeah, so it's amazing what this black man has accomplished, but there's a lot of people that got skin in the game to destroy it.
Oh yeah,
and my thing is, like, if people like invested and gotten behind him, like, do you know how much bigger of a machine he could build? Like, literally, all you have to do is just scale it up for whatever you need.
Making it smaller would be where the money is at. Think about it. If you can just have it in your house and cut it on and get as much water as you want, clean.
See, that's gonna be hard because of the way the machine actually produces that water, right? Oh man, like, see, that's gonna be hard.
It's gonna be kind of like a swamp cooler. It'd be kind of like a swamp cooler.
Or at least attach it to your house. Like I said, if I was like, Memphis is known for its humidity, and so if I could have that attached to my house, and for everything to run through it, right? I'll have water for days. I would never have to worry about water.
But you know, America don't want to give you nothing for free.
Yeah, they'll find some way to tax it because it's the same thing with solar now. Because now they're trying to figure out some way to tax solar when you get it installed. So
Yeah, because
And the government is actually giving out like loans and things for you to get solar. And I'm like, boy, just wait on the back end of that because y'all gonna be paying.
Well,
Yeah, you gotta get a grant. Now, don't take loans for it. Take a grant.
but that's why they're doing loans, because if they do it, then they say, hey, we because what happens is as we get a loan for it, right? Which means the government owns it. So as long as you're using it, you have to pay, you're paying back the loan, and then they could charge you for it because they still own it.
Well, and that's the reason
until you pay
why
it off.
I say we all need to move back into our own communities, because there's a whole bunch of grant money to create environmental justice in Black communities. And so when you throw those solar panels on there, it's going to be free because you're in the Black community, right? And so the government is going to provide it, as opposed to like where I'm living at now. I live, near, like I'm. I had some white dude show up to my door, and I had my pistol in my pocket. And he had his chest all puffed out. He had walked up, because I got like 8 cameras outside. And so I watched him pull up, walk to the door and all that. And he wouldn't answer who it was and all that. So when I answered the door, I had my pistol in my pocket. And he was like, you don't need that. Say some more words, Doc. I don't know what the hell you want. What is it that you want? And somebody had ran over his kid or something. And so he going around the neighborhood talking about, your car looked like the car that did it. And so his son hopped out the car. It ain't him. It ain't him. Because it's gonna be. So I'm surrounded by the enemy, right? Is what my point is. And so I'm looking to buy a house over there near the university, the HBCU I work at. And so HBCUs are always in the what? In the hood, right? And so I'm looking to buy over near my university to where I can be back in those Black communities, and I'm gonna do all the environmental grants that I can get to deck it out, right? And so if we move back into our own communities, and so I think that's a way around it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so with that said, I'm gonna slide us to. I'm gonna skip the second one. Okay, I'm gonna slip the second one, and I'm gonna go straight to the third one. All right. Can you be friends with a deadbeat dad? Can you have that type of dude in your circle? Because
No.
personally, I feel like nah, like the way that you treat the people that you say that you love, the people that you should care about, that says a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a dude and you constantly disrespect your mother, like, yo, I can't have you around me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's somebody you should reverence. You disrespect your father. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're steadily disrespecting different people, and then you get down to like, yo, I don't even spend time with my kids. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, so I think there's a caveat to that, right? I couldn't have someone in my circle who would choose to remain a deadbeat, right? Like I have people that I know who like change their whole life because of their circle, right? But if you're someone who you're a deadbeat and you really don't give a fuck, yeah, I could never be friends with you, because that bleeds over probably to everything you do in life.
I like kind of what King said. I think it well, one, it depends on like friend, like what do you consider a friend and everything, because like I said, I have a friend that I consider him deadbeat dad, but I let him know. And it's like, hey, so what King says is like, it's like you need to better yourself. And so there's a lot of stuff that we don't do, because a lot of stuff he needs to be there for his kid, and he's a better stuff for his kid. So if you're trying to improve and do things that are better for your kid like that too, and you're on the rise, and and sometimes, unfortunately, because people in circumstances, they need guidance. And I'm not here to save the world, but if I can do my part to be like, hey, you should be there for your kid and point him in the right direction, and you're able to help out and assist with that one, especially with me, not monetarily, because I can't raise everybody's kids, but if they're on that direction, yeah. But if like what King said, if they just don't give a fuck and they make every excuse in the world to say that they're right and they don't want to listen, and that bleeds into other things like what King said. So then anytime there's an issue, and even if it's on them, it's not, they're going to say that it's not on them, and that's not, so they're not going to be a good friend either.
Well, I don't have any personal experience with it. And so most of my friends are fathers. Most of them are, but none of them are and have ever been quote unquote deadbeats. But could I be friends with one? I think we would value like who I have a small amount of people I call friends. And so the value system that my friends and I actually hold wouldn't allow for someone I call friend to be a deadbeat. Could somebody be an associate or somebody I hang out with? Could, I guess like we, I'm old enough to say like phone friends, right? I don't know if that's a concept y'all understand, but
I get it.
Right. We might not be phone friends, but if I was out somewhere and I seen some cat that, there's a friend of a friend or something like that, and that cat is a deadbeat, it wouldn't stop me from, hanging out in that kind of sense. But we're doing superficial stuff in the first place. But I can't think of, but I do want to add a wrinkle to it in the sense that not all of us get to choose to be fathers. In the sense that a woman, I saw this TikTok and it made sense to me. So a woman can give up a child either through abortion or through adoption. And no one ever called her a deadbeat mom for doing so. But if a father wants to do the same, well, he can't get the vote, he doesn't vote for the abortion. And if he decides to give up the child, right, be seen as a deadbeat. And I have a problem with that.
And he's still held legally responsible.
No, you can actually give up your right.
Not in California.
Yeah, so even if you sign away your rights in a lot of states, they can still make you pay child support.
Yep.
Well, some states, so the state that I'm in now, because that's the only way you can do adoption, right? And you got some states with some, like, I'm surprised to hear California is one of those states, but a lot of southern states have this antiquated idea that, because they don't, which is amazing, right? Foster care pays people to take care of other people's children, but foster care, the government won't give it to the actual parents. But so in the Commonwealth of Virginia that I'm in right now says that they will put a father on child support because the government doesn't want to have to pay for that child, right? And so because they don't want to actually have to pay for the child, and so they won't allow the father to give up his rights, his parental rights or whatnot. And so I thought that was more of an antiquated Southern ideology that the state is now saying this, but in other states you actually could give up your parental rights, and once you give up your parental rights, you will not be responsible at all for child support, right? And so.
So, question, is that just if the child goes through the system? Like, because I haven't seen a case where, a man and a woman had a child and the mother kept the child and the dad attempted to sign over his rights where he still couldn't be like legally held responsible. Is that the case as well?
Yeah. So when you give up your parental rights, right? So your parental rights can be taken from you. Right, from the government. I used to work in foster care, right? And so it was Department of Children's Services. And so there's the CPS, Children Protective Service. They're the ones that go out and investigate. Then you got the foster care system. Then you got the adoption system through the state. And so I started out in foster care, and then I went into the Children Protective Services. So the state can take your parental rights away from you, and you can be paying child support to the foster care family, right? To take care.
Not in that case. Like I can understand it in that sense, but I mean in the sense where the mother of the child still keeps custody of that child.
I got a situation because I know it too well. Mom kept child like that too. Dad signed away its rights. Mom got remarried. Dad has no legal rights. Kids adopted by stepdad now. I guess, and then original, his actual dad still has to pay child support.
He does pay child support?
Does. So pretty much in the situation you're saying, unless the child goes to a ward of the state, they still pay child support.
But like I said, it's a state by state. It's a state by state. And so some states allow for you to give up your parental rights. Most people don't want to give up their parental rights because, once again, especially as a man, there's a blowback. If a woman gives up her parental rights and says she's not ready to be a mother, they'll say she did the right thing. If I say I'm not ready to be a father, you should have been thinking about that before you stuck it in them, right?
You gotta step up, be a man.
It's that, and I get it, but the main difference is that when a woman gives up her rights, the child's out of sight. And I don't
understand what you mean.
No, that's the same thing for the father.
Because when a dad gives up his rights, the child's still there, and they get blowback because the child's there, and usually because a lot of people, they don't move, like, in very, very subtly.
You're wrong, because a father has to give up his right for a child to be adopted as well.
No, I get what you're saying. No, but this is what happens too. Because I see in the military, I see people get citizenship too. If a mom, because that's the thing too. If for a lot of stuff for legal paperwork, the child procures through the mother, right? And in all legal terms, especially now, the child procures everything through the mother too. If the child's out of wedlock, there's a bunch of tests that have to be done to put a dad on a birth certificate, and this is at a federal level. So because there's a hospital birth certificate, and then there's your actual birth certificate too. And maybe this is not how it was before, but this has been happening since about 2016, because that's when I started working everything too. So pretty much, Smooth knocks up a lady, right? Doesn't know about it. And like that, so doesn't know about it. It's no harm, no foul, right? But what happens is no. So, but what happens if this lady comes back and says, "Hey, it's him," like that too, and this is who I had it with, and that's why, because the child's still there. And the thing is, a lot of people don't move out of their and I'm really, really condensing it, exaggerating, but they don't move out of their 20-mile radius. So that's what I'm saying. So if a woman keeps the kid and the guy gives up all the rights, the child for all intents and purposes it's still there. And I think that's the main difference, because if a woman goes and puts a kid for foster care and adoption like that too, the child's not there, and that's why it's looked upon differently. And I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying that that's how it is. And then for a lot of different legal rights that you get, everybody procures through the mother.
I don't have any siblings. My grandmother took my oldest aunt's children from her, right? And those children were within the 20 miles of their mother, right? And this lady, we called her Aunt. She was a foster care. That's what her career was. She took on nothing but foster care kids. And those kids knew exactly where their mothers and fathers were, right around the corner, and all this other kind of stuff, right? And so this one young lady that I know that was adopted, she didn't know anything about her parents at all, because it was a blind adoption when she was a baby. But she was adopted by some white people, and she was black. And so she kind of knew that they weren't her parents. And so they had to have these kind of conversations. And so I don't follow the logic that the idea that proximity makes it where the mother, because like the person that adopts a kid from when the mother gives it up could be right around the corner. All right, they're not like when you're doing adoption, they're not like looking at proximity to the biological mother.
I get that, but usually, like you said, there's a blind adoption like that too. So usually, when a woman gets up a kid,
but it can be open adoption as well.
No, yeah, but I'm saying, but usually it's open adoption, but they're out of sight. That's what I mean, because there's not a lot of people when the mothers adopt a kid. There's not a lot of them go ahead and say, "Hey, I still want to be in the kid's life." That's the thing, and the thing, unfortunately, is if you have a kid with somebody, you usually know them, and what happens is that someone goes out and reaches out and says, "Hey, this person has a kid," and blah blah blah. So it's that perception. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that that's how it is. And like you said, I agree with you. If a woman's able to say, "Hey, I don't want a kid," the man should be able to say it as well too. And unfortunately, as men, we're not afforded that right. But the reason why it's looked upon differently is because if a woman says yes and a man says no, usually people they share some sort of circle, so the backlash goes on the guy. And I think, and usually a lot of the times, because the child's gone, there's not a backlash, because I know what people hear, they're like, "Oh, your child, you should do this because your child's around." And usually, I would say when a woman gives up a child for adoption, the child's not around for all intents and purposes. Even though they might be around the corner, they're not around. They're not around. And that's what I'm saying. That's where the huge disconnect is, and that's why they're saying, oh, they did the right thing. Because I think certain people don't need to be fathers, and I wish like Sebastian's dad. I wish Sebastian's dad got the fuck out of the picture, because he doesn't need to be a dad, and he, and he does more harm than good. So that would be what's best for Sebastian. But since people know that he has a kid, and he says it, he gets that blowback because they're all in the fucking same area. Like, I agree with I agree with the sentiment of what you're saying. I'm just saying, just because his kid's around, that's the main reason why he's still in the picture, because people give him blowback because his kid's here.
Well, that woman that walked around pregnant and then doesn't have a baby doesn't catch any blowback. And everybody, like, you won't know if I'm a father or not. But if I know you, right? I'm talking about the social constructed ideas that we accept. Never heard of a deadbeat mother. They don't even roll off your tongue right? I got to remind myself I'm finna say mother instead of father.
Well, it's the same thing with white on white crime.
Well, I do say that, right?
No, but a lot of people don't say it, and I know there's horrible mothers out there too that don't need to be mothers as well too. But it's just one of the things that we normalize.
But I'm just saying.
But we also
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I mean, you also got to look at it like I think majority and maybe it's around like maybe it's around like 60% of the states in the United States are pro-mom states, right? So the courts are going to side with the kid, the mother, majority of the time, anyways. And
well, because the system's built for that. That's what I'm explaining. Like a lot of stuff, like a lot of rights you like as a child you get from your mom. Like you don't get it from your dad. You procure through your mom.
Wait. Hold on. So, like, what do you mean by that?
Citizenship, you get from your mom, not from your dad, because it's a lot. It's a lot more hoops. No, doctor, this is what I do. I get what you're saying, but this is like, yeah, I'm not saying you can't procure from your dad, but citizenship from the instant for the United States, you get from your mom.
No, you don't.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with this because this is what I do, and Sebastian's mom works in immigration. Okay. So and I did this for 2 years. So I'm saying off the bat, you get it from your mom. To get it from your dad, there's extra steps you have to go through. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying the system is inherently geared to get everything from your mother. I'm not saying you can't procure from your dad. I'm just saying off the bat, you get it from your mom. Even rights and deers, because we all know about deers. You get all that from your mom.
I can see why, because that's your first. No, coming through your mother as.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying because that's what they prove. Like all the rights and deers. You get from the mother. That's why. So that's why now, like, if you have a child at a wedlock too, you have to put in everything saying, "Hey, this is my child," and you have to push through it too. But as a father, unless you're married, and the thing is, because if you're married, what happens is that if you're married, the service member gives it to the wife, and then the wife gets from the kids. That's how the system works.
So that's not how the system. That's how the military work.
No, that's the federal government, because I worked for Department of State. I'm not gonna have this argument with you because this is what I do.
The first sentence in the 14th Amendment.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying I worked in there.
It's not. It's about location of birth, and so you're talking about people being foreign born and how they gain citizenship.
I'm talking about being born here as well too, because it's location of where you're born. So that's the thing, location of where you're born from the mother. But the thing is too, if you're foreign born as well too, then you procure, because and that's what I'm saying, because like you said, location of being born. So that means if you're born from the mother.
Wait.
So I get what both of you are saying, right?
Google it.
Okay. I'm leaving because that's what I do. So I get what you're saying. You're telling me to Google it, but that's what I did for 2 years. That's what Michelle does for freaking every day for the past fucking 9 years.
But both of y'all are right. Both of y'all are right. It is where you're born, but you are born through your mother. Like that's
all right. He's saying your citizenship is based on the mother and not the location of your birth.
It's based off the mother from where you were born. I'm not saying it's just based off your mom. But I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying, because it's based, like I said, everything comes from the mother. The system's gained for the mother. So that's what I was saying, because he's saying courts go through the mother, and I'm saying every system that we have, everything goes through the mother.
So wait. Hold on. I have a scenario, because I have a very technical question here. Okay, so if, let's just say the mother isn't, okay, let's just say she's not an American citizen. You're born in another country, but the father is an American citizen. That child gets their citizenship.
They could derive, because the thing is, you get citizenship from either parent. They could derive from the father, but that's what I'm making. For the mother, it's instant. Anything from the father, you have to derive from it too. So it's not instant.
So okay. So wait. So I think I get the concept that you're trying to push it. You're saying that because the mother obviously gave birth to the child, it is inherently obvious that this is her child, and not the father. The father then has to prove that this is his said child.
Yes, because King was talking about the courts, because he's saying courts geared to the mother, and I'm saying because it's geared to the mother, because that's just the way the federal system works. And it works with everything. So that's why. So that's why all the states, they're pro mom for this reason.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And I'm saying it's the location that is important, right? It's the location of the birth. And so if, and that's the reason why, if you were born in Germany on a U.S. base, for the people that's in the military, if you're born in Germany in the U.S. on a U.S. base, you're still considered born in the U.S. Yes,
but from the mother though, and that's the point I'm making. It's all because of the mother.
It's about the location.
Yeah, the location of the mother.
Well, that's the only person that can give goddamn birth.
No, and that's what I was saying. I'm saying, and that's what King was saying. I'm telling you why the courts go to the mother's side.
Yeah,
that has nothing to do with why the court.
Because the system, because the way the systems work is everything goes to the mother anyway. So that is why. So and that's what I'm saying. That's why the court systems, a lot of them, they're pro mom, because everything you get is from the mother, whether where she was at when she gave birth or what she has.
No, it's about, because citizenship is based on when you're born. And so I don't know if you was keeping up with this or not, but under Trump, a lot of people were traveling at 9 months to come into the United States for their child to be born in the United States.
They were doing that before Trump. I'm sorry, because
but he wasn't cracking down on it. Doesn't matter, right? And so them traveling into the United States to give birth.
Yeah, I know, it's called birth tourism. It's what I did.
And what citizenship did they get?
Through the mother. It didn't matter about the dad. And that's what I'm saying.
Because wasn't a U.S. citizen. And
yeah, so, I know, but the mother was in the U.S. and that's what I'm saying. Because
U.S. that made them citizens, and so
yes,
the mother.
No, but you know what happened though? No, but they still derived through the mother, because we have to make sure that, hey, the mother was here when they had birth. So yeah, so they still gain citizenship via the mom.
Because women are the only people
both
that can
y'all right. Both, yeah. And that's his point. That's his point.
It's semantics.
That's the point that he's making. That women are the only people who can have babies. That's the point that he's making.
No, because if it's about the mother, then what she bursts out. So when we look at enslavement, so what happened at the end of the 16th century, they said that everything that came out of a black woman's vagina was enslaved. And so what you're saying is that everything that comes out of using the language that he's using is that everything that comes out of a woman's vagina, if she's a U.S. citizen, is going to be a U.S. citizen. It's not true. It will be based on where that child is born.
But but I'll put it this way too: if the mom's a U.S. citizen and she has a freaking baby in Kaiserslautern, the baby's still a U.S. citizen too.
Can be.
Is.
Right, but then it becomes a whole other thing, because now it's dealing with other stuff, right? But guaranteed, right? Because go back to Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And him running for president. You know what? Let me go and stop. Because I'm taking Smooth off of what he wants to talk about.
Okay, cool. Because look, this is semantics at this point. I think y'all are basically saying the same thing.
because historically,
it's the way y'all are looking. It's the way y'all are looking at it, but it's literally like nearly.
I'm just trying to say why the court sided with the mother.
But historically, for over 100 and something years, men had the right. It wasn't,
that's why I prefaced it with since 2016. Because I said from 2016, from when I was doing it, or even if we go in 2008, that's why I wasn't prefacing it like that too. That's why I was saying now. I wasn't going because I understand men had the right, but as of now, the reason why they're pro mom is because everything is gained. A lot of systems are gained pro mom. So that's all I was saying.
Okay,
and I'll give examples.
Yeah. What's up?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, cool. So, we're gonna table this. That was entertaining.
It's apple juice, not alcohol.
Yeah. I support
ice.
apple juice.
Apple juice on ice.
Hey, Sebastian drinks apple juice on ice.
Never had apple juice on ice.
No, actually, that's the thing. Or like if we go to Chili's, whatever, Sebastian's like, he's like, I want apple juice in a beer mug. Almost like,
this man got the biggest thing of apple juice.
He does it on purpose. So people look at us. They're like, oh.
All right. So the last thing is
the most controversial.
The most controversial. Are most women raised to be selfish? Do you agree or disagree? Because I will start this off. I will catch the flames of hell. I truly believe yes, they are.
I don't think that's a debate though. You know what I'm saying? Like when my girl was having this conversation the other day, right?
Yeah.
Like women are raised to be independent, and men are raised to eventually provide for a family. Like, yeah, and granted, that's a modern thing, right? That's a hell of a modern thing, but 100%. Yeah. I don't care if I get flack for it.
Yeah. I'm ready. I want all the smoke.
Strong, independent, don't need no man. What you smiling for?
Till they want to have their family. Till they want to.
No. I think they're strong, independent. They don't need no man, and because of that, they don't ask about anybody's feelings, but their own for the most part. So I will say it's not their fault. I
gotta disagree with you on that.
No,
because I think it's how they're raised. So you don't know what you don't know.
So bro, can I ask you something, bro?
Yeah.
If you raise a child to punch people, right?
Yeah.
Right, and they just running around just punching people. At what age do they become responsible to learn? Hey,
they get knocked out.
It's not good to punch.
There you go. No, because a lot of stuff happens because we're fostered by our environment, and if your environment doesn't punch you back, no. But yeah. Because I think people are selfish by nature, and then this just accentuates that. So I will agree.
So I have to disagree with the last part though. I don't think people are selfish by nature. I think people organically want to form a community, right? They organically want to form like groups. But because we live in a society that pushes, and granted, men are, we want to, I'm gonna leave this topic alone.
Okay, disagree. I think people are selfish by nature. What's up, doctor? Let's bring the doctor in here.
Hey, she gives me a mean eye.
I'm with her. I am 110% on the exact opposite of the last one of y'all. Like, no, women are not by the nature of them or raised to be or any of those things to be selfish. Period. Right?
What do you think women are raised to be?
Mothers and wives, especially in the United States. because all of these are social constructed ideas about what or seeking love and all of these other kind of things. But the thing, by the very nature of what y'all just said is selfish, then every man is selfish.
I said people are selfish in general.
Because what y'all named is adulting. Every adult has to be independent. Every adult has to take care of themselves. Because
but independence wasn't the only thing that I said, though.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
So
what else did we say besides independence?
So the independence and don't need no man type. So
you don't. Do you need a woman? You want one?
I also added to that.
I need one, right? If I want to procreate and continue my DNA, I need one.
Science has it where you can rent out a womb.
Come on now, come on. Tell me the average human being
very generous.
Go and rent out a womb.
Rent out a womb.
This man said test tube baby.
How much?
So look up India. India has the it's less than $20,000 actually.
20,000?
Yeah, less than.
So how much?
It costs $1 million to raise a goddamn kid. So if you ain't got the,
but that's different because that's acquired over time. How many American men?
My son's school a year. Okay. My son second grade was $24,000.
Can I rewind real fast? Because I added something too. Because what we said it before too. Because remember before we were talking about men's rights and everything too, and now the pendulum's it's swinging over to be more equal. Well, so these women are taught, and they're raised that they don't need a man. They can do everything on their own. But because of this, they're also they're not also taught to validate other people's feelings. And I think that's the part I added in as well, because I've been in relationships with women. And if they get everything that a man's supposed to be, everything's all right, and they're not doing their part to say, "Hey, how are you checking up?" and have, for lack of a better term, a maternal instinct. And I think
that's why. Oh,
oh no, and that's what I added too, because they're not being taught to check up, because they're taught to check up on their fellow females, but not their males, their male counterparts.
That's why when you said that they're raised to be wives and mothers more than any other, when you say especially in the United States, I think the United States is probably the most behind country on raising women to be mothers and wives, right?
At least wives.
Any Disney movie? Have y'all not watched any goddamn Disney movie?
And that shit is a fairy tale.
Bro, they don't look, these women out here, they don't care about what the Disney thing is. It looks cute. Oh my god, the dress is so pretty. I love her slippers, blah blah blah. But I don't need no man at the end of the day.
No, because if you look at the Disney movies, the Disney movies, because even if you go Aladdin, Jasmine chose her because in the beginning of everything, she was turning down every man, and then Cinderella wanted to be seen like that too. So there's a lot of stuff. It was, hey, discovering yourself, not validating the other person's feelings. So a lot of Disney movies, they don't talk about that. I think the only one that was a Disney princess, that she's not really a princess, that wouldn't validate someone else's feelings was the Disney movie Tarzan.
Damn.
And that's because Jane.
No, you're right though. She really did give a fuck about that nigga.
Yeah, I'm a Disney buff.
For no reason. From straight blank slate. But
blank slate. That's fucked up.
My head hurt. You're making my head hurt.
But another reason I disagree, because we literally in the United States, we literally tell women in their prime years of birthing to hold off, focus on all these other things outside of making a family, outside of establishing something so you can eventually get in a position to make a family, right? And then that's why you have so many women who are in that geriatric pregnancy area right now, and scrambling trying to have kids with buying sperm, going to sperm banks and all this other stuff, because at this young age they were told you don't need a man. You don't have to go to. So I don't think women in the United States are raised to be mothers, and I don't think they're even taught the qualities and traits of what a mother and a wife is. and you can say, look at Disney movies. You can say, look at Disney movies.
Go to a black church. Go into society as a woman. Like, I want you to say that in a space with women, that they're not being told repeatedly to be married and to have children. Repeatedly.
Well,
because the younger you are, so you're saying you want 14-year-old pregnant women. Girls.
Whoa, don't do that.
He's talking about 20s.
I said prime years, which are
that's the prime years.
To 25.
When they're teenagers,
21 to 25.
That's not their prime years. Pregnancy.
Yes, what are you talking about?
Look it up. Pregnancy is not.
Okay, sorry. You're going off of biology. He's going off of societal. So in society, your prime years are your early 20s.
If wait a minute, because he
and even if we do that too, it's because before it was around 20, 21, 22 after you graduate college. So during that term.
But that ain't the best, because when he talked about them being quote unquote geriatric, right? That was a biological conversation, right? Can we agree?
I get it. I was clarifying his terms.
Yep. But can we agree the geriatrics is dealing with the biological fact that women are going to go through menopause the older they get, right?
100%, but that's a different part of the conversation. That does not directly tie into. Yes, it is. How you gonna tell me what my argument?
But language, that's the point of language, because you said that when they can or should, because go back to the first part.
I said prime years. You adding all these extra things in now. You're adding all these extra things in. I simply said prime years, and if you look at society, if you look at it, what men, women, United States as a whole consider prime years for. Matter of fact, you can just look at statistics. So
I'm out of my prime. Is what you're trying to say?
No, I'm
out of my prime.
For women. I'm speaking specifically for women. A study was done that showed men will prefer to have women from the ages of 21 to 25, and they did this from guys who were 18 to 60, I believe.
Something wrong with those men, because let me go ahead and tell you now, I don't know a 21 to 25-year-old. They don't know nothing. Why would I don't that? That's a kid. My daughter is 25.
Damn, I thought she was like 30. I ain't even gonna lie to you. What?
Right? My daughter just turned 25. My non-biological daughter just turned 25. Right? And I've never been married and all that. Right? But society, the Western culture is pushing women into the household, pushing them into being mothers, into being wives, and that women have to fight to have careers. Because let's go back to why 21 is a prime age, right? Because at 21, if you're traditional, that means you would have gotten your college degree, which meant that she would have went to school for no career. Like, she went to school to find a husband instead of going to school to have a career. Then you're going to knock her for getting that career instead of investing, right? I didn't get married to get my PhD. I was like, we're going to wait until I get my PhD for us to be married, because we want to accomplish something. Right?
Good shit.
I was over 30 when I had my first kid. I'm well over 30. Now I'm going to have my second one.
Hey, look, boy, you age well.
But doesn't that go to his point where that they're not taught to be a mother?
I'm telling you, society teaches. Society. So being a mother, by the very nature of it, means not to be selfish.
I agree. I 100% agree with you on that point. I agree
You
with you
saying
100%
women
on that point.
are being taught to be selfish, right? And so,
those two aren't necessarily the same
what you
subject, right?
to your needs.
No. Those two aren't
I hope your girlfriend can
necessarily
hear us.
being the same subject. You're
Yeah.
talking about one, like being a mother and being taught to be a mother are two different things. One hand, like you already have a kid,
You
right?
saying when I say taught, in the sense that it means that you have pressure on women to be mothers, that it's being taught that they need to be a mother to be fulfilled as a woman.
And so
I disagree with that.
I would say it's more twofold. It's more twofold. It's you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like I'll put it like this, like with men with careers, right? Like, yeah, you can get a career later on, but you're going to be pushed by society to get a good job sooner rather than later. You're going to be pushed by society to get a house sooner rather than later. All these societal things are pushing you to do those things. With women, it's literally telling them, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a limited amount, like for men, there's a limited amount of time, like that are your prime earning years. For women, there's a limited amount of time that are your prime birthing years. It's just what it is. It's not like, oh my God, you can't have a baby, you know what I'm saying, later on in life. I have a coworker, she had one, she was 36. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, cool. She had the baby at 36. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's not saying
job.
it's not possible. The risk
It's not
like
not
exponentially
possible,
increased.
but in the grand scheme of things, the further along down the line that you go, the odds of that woman having the family that she wants, you know what I'm saying, actually being able to get with a man, like having the dating options that you would like to have, it just steadily just declines. You know what I'm saying? It's even with men. You know what I'm saying? It's even with men. Like the higher
I
up
disagree with that part.
no. In a way. No. In a way. Wait. Let me.
I think it's bad. I think it's the opposite.
No. I was gonna flip it for men. For men. It's more of your social status, like, and your earnings. Like, as if you wait too long and you don't get it together, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't ever get it together, then you know what I'm saying, you're capped out at what women you can get. You're capped out. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying like as men get older and establish themselves more, like their options go down. Like,
Oh no. I wasn't
I get
saying
what
it
you're
goes
saying now.
down. Yeah, I'm saying that if you don't get that going, you know what I'm saying? Like, then eventually, you know what I'm saying, you might find yourself at a dead end position. You know what I'm saying? And then you've lost your drive, and then I'm not saying that the man can't eventually get it together, but I'm saying that your options, you're limited, you know what I'm saying, at where you are.
But I was saying, Smooth, if women, the older they get, their options are going down, that means the option that the men that are in their cohort, right, are going down, and or they're bad or something, right? That because
No,
No.
So explain that to me.
I
So
got you.
listen.
Let me explain it to you. Let me explain
Go ahead,
it.
bro.
So
How many of y'all over 30?
I'm over 30.
yeah, you can tell Smooth over 30. I'm just playing.
Oh
I'm just playing, bro. I'm just playing.
Hey, you ain't nothing but an hour, bro.
Hey, you right. Hey, it ain't no but love, bro. No violence in between our couples. It is. Hey, but no. So I don't think so. Even if the environment stayed the same around that individual, right? And you can disagree with this, right? But statistics will say otherwise. So beauty fades over time. That's
Don't say that
like
with your girlfriend in the room, because like you're gonna be replacing her in 10.
It does not. No. So there's a difference between establishing a rapport with someone and building over time. That's completely different, right? But if there's a woman who was 23, right? Amazing, beautiful, right? But she looked at me when I was 23 and she's like, yeah, I would never date you, right? She's now 35. I'm 35. I'm in my financial stride. I'm well off of myself. hygiene on point, taking care of myself, everything's going great. But she, even if she is on her financial side, everything's going great for her, right? Her pool, 9 times out of 10, has definitely shrunk because one, she's not going to deal with men that she would have dealt with at the age of 23 anymore because her standards have completely risen. So that's going to make her pool smaller. Then the men who she might be interested in at that time, probably going to date someone who has a little bit more youth on them. And you can disagree with that or not. That's I see you look. I already see you smiling.
I'm not. I'm just saying, like, bro, men date younger women, and women date older men. It's just inherent.
And that's happened for centuries. That's literally happened for centuries.
Yeah.
You know
And
what
it still
also happened
happens.
for centuries? You know what else happened for centuries? Pedophilia. Pedophilia happened for centuries.
What the fuck?
Again, this is not that fun. Bro, you're gonna get me shadow banned and all this other stuff. You saying words I shouldn't even be saying.
Hey, man, my man done went to 2 extremes.
It's not that. Look, so
Bruh.
something old don't make it good. So let's throw tradition in there, right?
No, I'm not saying
great aunt married her. My great aunt was 14, and my great uncle was 36 when they got married. Right, because of the times. Pedophilia is because they wouldn't have been calling it pedophilia because the idea of what a woman would when a girl becomes a woman, right? We had this new ideal of 18 being when a girl becomes a woman.
So that's why I don't think you and people do this a lot because people. I ain't gonna get into that part, but people do this a lot, right? You cannot apply today's standards and laws to what happened in the 1400s, right?
That was 1960.
No, I got you. I'm just using that as an example, right?
Speaking in hyperbole.
Just using that example, right?
Well,
if you look back,
I'm doing a 1-to-1.
If you look back in the day, like motherfuckers used to get married 14, 13, stuff like that all the time, right? That was their standard they had back then. Was it right by our standard? Hell no. You gonna get looked at as a pedophile. Did they see that as that? No. Am I in a place
to trying to get a younger woman? What it's gonna be seen as?
No, it's not. You're an adult.
No, bro.
A 35-year-old man getting with a 25-year-old woman is nothing at all like that.
When that young lady turned, I don't know who it was, but as soon as she turned 18, and all these dudes started trying to get her. This was your conversation.
You talking about that? Catch me outside, chick.
No.
I didn't talk about.
No. So wait, no. Stop it. Because that idea. No, that idea that is a different type of animal. That's sick. That's a different type of animal. We're not talking about that. We're talking about no. I'm talking about I'm 31. If I date a woman that's 24 or 25, that's not crazy.
That ain't what Ebony King was just arguing. He was saying
no. He literally said 21
at 35.
What is wrong with that? You are an adult.
That's not that
alcohol.
absurd.
You're able to buy firearms. What? You are an adult at 21. How can I look at a man who's 35 for having or even marrying someone who's 21? You're an adult. That's like saying a man who's 40 is weird for marrying a woman who's 30. Like, what?
But I mean, even if you're the man, you're 50 and she's 30. That's not is that necessarily that bad of a deal? Like, here's the thing. If your criteria is like for most women is I want a man that provides for me. I want him to do this. You know what I'm saying? I want him to be established, have his whatever. The later he gets in his years, the more likely he has his shit together.
He's probably not your age. Like that, and that's why like women do not get married in college during college years anymore. 9 times out of 10, they ain't even looking at the guy that's in college with them. About 30 years ago, they probably been married already. So now, you don't make enough for me. Like you come on, bro. You see it all the time on social media now. These.
So,
Go ahead.
but your argument was that when she gets to be 30 plus, her value is going down, her options are going down.
I
Right?
didn't say nothing about a value. I'm not gonna say anything about a value because I don't want to even have that conversation about value because you're not about to get me canceled.
I mean value in a relationship, right?
No, so her pool. Let's just say her pool.
Oh, okay,
her
pool.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was just throwing the age part in there because that was part of the argument. But most of the women I date right now make more money than I do.
Dang, how many women you dating right now?
Look here.
Oh, okay. So, oh my God. Hey, so.
Oh, that was a good one.
My man said most of the women, but some of them, you know.
I think that was like the perfect way to end right there.
Oh man.
But that's what single life is, right? You date.
Listen, hey.
Right. I just want to say,
tell them to put a ring on it.
So look for this example. Look, let's just assume, man. Every woman is a Porsche. Okay. It's just no. Just
I already know where this is going.
Every woman is a Porsche. No, so look, and we're gonna leave them on the lot, okay? We're not gonna say like you got extra miles on you, none of that. We're gonna leave you on the yacht, on the lot, brand new. However, when you have the car that's from 99 versus the car from 2010, well, no, okay, we're gonna have to move this back.
2020.
This is gonna sound crazy. So we're gonna say like 19 because this is gonna sound real bad. I got it. I cleaned this up. Let's clean this up.
I'm glad you caught it.
2010.
Don't touch that car. Don't touch that car.
It's too new.
So we have it from, you know what I'm saying? Let's say 89, right? You have the 89, right? The 1989.
Okay.
And then you have the 2000, right? You have the 2000. Okay, you have the 2000. The 1989, like, yes, it's vintage, it's great, you know what I'm saying, you know, but and it has inherent value, it's great, you know what I'm saying. However, you might want something that has more bells and whistles,
that new hotness,
you know what I'm saying, that you know what I'm saying, that it can, you know what I'm saying, it's still its turn radius is still better, you know what I'm saying, it's a bit more flexible.
Hey, nah, look, I'm just looking for that better fish.
Y'all women gonna run this episode back and be like, why would I marry you? Because you're gonna be looking for a new model.
See, that's where you confusing it, man. Like, just like once you create that, you know, rapport, that relationship, and you have those years in, you don't give a damn about finding a new model at that
and
point, right?
You know what most men do?
You're invested into that.
Most men don't trade in their cars; they upgrade them. They go through the process and they tweak them. And
then she gonna get half.
No.
No, he means up like his, like talking about like muscle cars, like Vin Diesel, man. Fast and Furious.
These men, you know what I'm saying, they pay for the surgery, they pay for all that other stuff to keep the woman.
Look, they ain't paying for that. Like, you bugging. You don't even need that.
No, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's what they want to do. That's how
no GMO.
They want wait 10 years from now. 10 years. Let's go ahead and promise right now. 10 years from now, because the way y'all imagining getting older is amazing to me. So 10 years from now, let's have another episode.
Okay. Hey, but you also have to stop using your anecdotal experience. Like, you gotta take yourself out of the equation.
Well, y'all the ones who using anecdotal experiences, right?
We're not even over 30, so we can't.
Y'all using y'all imagination. That's the problem, right? Like,
no, we use, like, there are stats out there about some of these things, right? You like the World Health Organization, CDC, like they put a lot of these stats out there.
Let's Google age difference between.
I mean, so look, so you know what you can go to? You can go to the thing that was done. That's that the research, just the research that they did with Tinder. You know what I'm saying? And just the dating,
that research
just the
alone
dating
shows.
thing with just Tinder, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes to
I don't know
people's
what you're
preferences, age preferences, like all of it. It speaks
Yeah.
volumes.
Like
Because
Tinder itself
even if you have
shows
the same woman,
exactly the point that we're proving.
you have the same woman they're both, you have two women that they both been, by the ratings of the people, of the people in the men in the study, two women, they're both nines. One was 28 and one was 22. People went 22, just like more. It was just one of those things.
Go.
I'm not saying
Hey,
that
look.
there's nothing
Hey,
wrong with
I'm
a
gonna
28-year-old.
stop talking about age because I feel like every time I say something about age, he gonna try to spin it to
yeah.
I'm dealing with.
According to Google, in 2014, the average age difference in the U.S. heterosexual relationships was a relatively small 2.3 years. 2.3.
Now look up that statistic on Who and see what Who says.
On who?
Yeah.
Because on March, this is March 17, 2022. The BBC.com, if you want to look at the reference.
But that was
BBC.
funny. All right.
Is it the
So
World
this
Health
is from
Organization?
I'm about to go look at the credibility of that statistic.
British broadcasting company.
Well, I'm about to go eat right now.
Okay, no, but for real, we can debate this stuff later. Let's wrap. Let's go ahead and wrap up. Let's wrap up. You know what I'm saying?
And how many of those relationships actually last? But my bad. Go ahead.
Okay.
I was the one who was heading towards divorce before y'all get married. Listen, before y'all get married, y'all are looking for the new model.
Yeah.
Yo, so listen. So let's wrap this up. Yeah. All right, so listen. I want to thank y'all for coming through here. Okay, if for some reason my episode y'all don't see this last part, it's because I had to cut everything.
Don't edit it out. Don't edit out.
I had to save the podcast.
2012.
Hey, just know you ain't making no money off this video.
Man, boy, I'm getting
Demonetized.
Boy, this one's gonna get us ran up out of here, boy.
Don't speak for us. Don't speak. I'm good.
Of course you is. It ain't your platform. It's mine. I'm gonna be on strike number 3 after this video.
Hey, don't worry. Hey, look, that YouTube email coming soon.
Right, sir. We got you for putting up offensive content, sexism,
Talking about pedophilia.
I'm just telling you the history of it. I'm telling you the history.
My man said 35 to 21 is oh my God.
Because when she was 21, how old? When you were 21, how old was she?
What you got? Like that's like saying when a 45-year-old man, when you was 21, how old that 30-year-old woman? Like what?
Okay. So look. So real talk.
I'm done.
As an older man, you're not gonna. If a young you're not gonna hit.
Why you struggling to get that out?
Look, I'm trying to be like Frankie, and I'm only going to have sex with people I want to make babies with.
No, not that I want to make babies with, that I'm willing to make babies with. If it comes down to that, there's a total difference because I don't want to make babies with a lot of people I sleep with.
Did you just say you got a fishing pond of people you talking to? Ain't your dating pool you
with all of them? I didn't. That's your imagination. I didn't say I was sleeping with any of them.
You're stuttering now. You're stuttering.
Dr. DL over there fishing with dynamite.
Look, I'm trying to tell you what I'm doing. Look, and so, but the mother is younger than me, and so I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but you're saying that it is the norm, and I'm saying it's not. My norm is to date women like this, like I said, 2 to 3 years younger than me. That's my norm.
And there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
Hey, nothing wrong with you.
That's what you want to goddamn do, but I'm gonna get me preschool right now, so I'm already. This
is episode number 142 of the Homeroom Smooth podcast. I would like to thank y'all for watching. Please,
watch the next episode.
Watch the okay.
Please subscribe.
We're not always like this, and
We-
I
we
you
have
know what I
feminine-
really need. You know what I really need. I need.
And once again, asking for your financial support.
Okay, I just need you to help a brother out. Okay, subscribe. That's how you can
HBO
financially
special.
support me. Subscribe. Okay, click the button to subscribe. That's all I need. That's it. Just subscribe.
Watch the video at ×2 speed. You know, just play in the background. You know, it's all good.
Yeah.
No, it's a great episode. It's gonna get you arguing with your significant other. So it's a great episode.
It's gonna be one. Hey, look, we're gonna end up on the shade room. Look, we're about to be on the shade room. We're about to be on the shade room.
Yo, they're gonna get us the fuck up out of here. Like, I know his ass ain't talking.
Hey, spell my name right. That's all I ask.
Boy. Yeah, so yeah, I want to thank my guests for coming through. You know what I'm saying? Thank Ebony King for coming through, Dr. DL for coming through.
I love the doctor.
You know what I'm saying? And my boy Frankie, you know what I'm saying? Me and him, we're always here. What the fuck is that? What the fuck was that?
Oh my god!
Hey, check out my boy. My boy be on roller coasters every weekend.
Bro, without man.
I'm like, why the hell he keep finding these damn theme parks at?
Bro got reverse views. I ain't never seen a roller coaster go in reverse. I said, how'd you get them to do that?
You know,
this man have been in every theme park in the United States.
I've trying to get there. I need to do the Northeast, so, and the Pacific Northwest. So,
Hey, so if you need to find a place to go, hit up Frankie. Frankie.
Oh my god, I'm gonna start crying. Hey,
you put that on the soundboard.
Hey, yeah, you made that.
Oh, he's done.
But you gotta make that a sound. You gotta make that sound.
Doctor throw it the best. He's like, I'm gonna be like Frankie. I want to make love with
Wait,
people
are we
I want to
still
have
live?
babies with. I was like, wow. I said out of all that, doctor's like, what's up? Let me bring you in here.
Look, I got no problem. I believe in quoting folks.
I love that though. I'm totally out of the conversation. He's like, I'm gonna bring you back into this. Closing comments. You're fucked.
Hey, look, let me come to the back maybe right quick.
Come on,
I'm gonna go to jail. Yep.
got no problem with it.